this 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and I want to make a card out of it. So I want to figure out which way I should be cutting the paper. Should I cut it this way or this way? The reason it's important to determine that before you cut the paper is you want to cut it against the grain so that the score line goes with the grain and you won't get the splintering. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. First of all, what I do is I take my piece of paper and I just gently fold it to itself. If it's easy, that tells me that's where the grain is. So this one gives me a little more resistance. This one, pretty easy to fold. So that tells me when I make my card, I want to fold it that way. So I want to cut against the grain that way. So what I'm going to do, again, I took this, that was easy. This offered more resistance. So this is how I want to fold my card, so I know I'm going to cut this way. So with our trimmer, I'll open that up, and I want a card, an A2 size card. So I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4 this way. And I want to save paper, so I don't want to cut the whole thing. I'm only going to go down to 11, which shows right here. So 4 1/4 there. And since I know this is a piece of 12 by 12 and I only want to go to 11, I'm going to line this up at the 1 inch mark and cut to 4 1/4 here, right there. That gives me my card base. And this is one of the ways I like to save paper, because I could potentially use that strip for something else. I'll be doing another video on how to save paper. Now what I do next is score the paper at 5 1/2, because this is going to be a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So I just line it up at the 5 1/2 and I take my bone folder and just score along there. And what that does is that gives me a nice, oh, and when you score, that's also where you want, or the side that you want to fold your card at. So since I scored here, I want to fold my card that way. There you go. So you can see that gave me a nice clean score without the splintering. Okay, so do the same thing with your colored cardstock. This is an 8 1/2 by 11. And here, little resistance. Here, very little resistance. So that tells me when I cut the paper, I'm going to want to score it along this side and cut this way. So again, I'm going to take this at 4 1/4 to create an A2 card. And then I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. There we go. And you can see, I'll zoom in. Real clean fold right there, no splintering. So that's how I determine how I'm going to cut my paper. I hope you found that helpful. Please head over to my blog if you'd like to see more helpful tips. And that's papercraftingwithangelina.blogspot.com. I really appreciate you stopping by. I love reading your comments. And please subscribe if you feel so inclined. In the meantime, happy paper crafting.